So what are we?
Yo, I'm just chilling right now.
I'm not looking for anything
Excuse
right now.
me, can I talk
I saw
to
your
you?
little girlfriend the other
What
day.
you mean?
You know you're my man,
So
right?
when you gonna make me your girl?
You probably say the same thing to all the little girls on your line.
Welcome to episode 7 of What You Want to Call It podcast. I'm really excited. This is going to be a very exciting episode, and I'm going to let my guests introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Ken.
And I'm Lara.
Okay, and who are y'all? Where y'all from?
Well, I'm from Florida, but we live in Richmond.
Yeah, I'm originally from Woodbridge, Virginia.
Nice. Okay. And what's your relationship status?
Oh, we married.
We married.
To who?
to each other.
Ooh.
We married.
Yes.
Married.
I like that. You know, you already know how I feel about Black love, so
Oh yeah, that's good.
I'm really excited. So, of course, you know my next question is, how did you meet?
Tinder.
Tinder.
Ooh, tell us more.
So we swiped right. And I think he messaged me first.
Yeah. So I didn't think I have a shot in the world to put that out there, but something in me, I was like, you gotta go big or go home. So I swiped right, and I was like, she ain't gonna say nothing back, and went from there.
So when you sent your message and she answered,
I think
He
I said
said
something
like a
stupid.
joke, like a shower joke.
please,
Or like-
please tell me
I
what you
don't
mean.
even remember what it was. But knowing me, I'd have said something like, if you take collard greens and throw them on the wall, did that make it Walgreens? Something stupid, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I like that.
you know
Never
what I'm
heard
saying?
that
So
one.
I done did something like that. I don't remember what I said though, but something
good.
stupid, 'cause that's just me.
That's really good because I've known Lara now for maybe, I want to say 4 years. And my experience with online dating has been so bad. Like, I'll download it and I'm like, riled up like, yeah, girl, and I'll get so mad. And I always come back like, girl, let me tell you how this man had me fucked up all the time. So like, I don't think online dating is for me, but I'm glad that it worked for y'all because look at where y'all at today, you know?
Exactly.
So my next question is, how long have you all been together?
We've been married for like 7 months. And we've been together like a year and a half.
That's good.
So we was fast.
Yeah. Y'all knew what y'all wanted.
I ain't waste no time.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
When a man knows what he wants.
He goes for it.
Exactly.
It's the simplest process y'all ever gonna go through.
Yep.
Or it should be, in theory.
What was your first date?
Oh, that was funny. I love our first date.
So our first date was after, Tinder, a little bit of conversation.
Right.
Wait, pause.
Yeah.
Pause on that question. How long were y'all going back and forth on Tinder before y'all met?
Ooh, it was a little bit of
It was actually,
push pull.
it was like maybe a week and a half.
Okay.
Because actually I was supposed to be not being on my phone, not being on apps for a project. So I told him I had a class project and I was going to delete Tinder and delete all my apps.
Yeah, and I was like, nah, you ain't doing that. Yeah.
If he
Well, at
wanted,
least you'd be
It
like,
was
well, let me
true,
get the phone
though.
number first.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna let her. I was like, nah, wait a minute.
So I gave
You know what I'm
I
saying?
gave him my phone number, and then we started texting.
Yeah.
And then maybe like 2 weeks later,
Yeah.
we had our first date.
Was this after the project was done?
Yeah.
And then you failed that horribly.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
I just didn't stay committed
It's my fault.
to not being on the internet or my apps.
Yeah.
But I did delete Tinder.
Yeah.
Because you found somebody that you were interested in, so it makes
Well,
sense.
Yeah, going in that.
I didn't delete Tinder because of him, because there was other people I was talking to on
Entertaining
Tinder.
at the time.
Right. But once we started dating, after a couple of days, I stopped
You made it
with Tinder
exclusive.
altogether.
Okay.
Stop dating other
Okay.
people. But our first date was by the river because he told me that he liked like rivers and water, and I like water and like doing water sports like kayaking and canoeing.
All right, can I
Do you
jump in?
really
Can I-
like? Do you
So to be clear, I don't like the water at all.
exactly? I was about to be like,
I'm terrified of the water. No, I'm terrified of the water.
I feel like you was flexing on Tinder.
Bro, I was like, oh yeah, girl, let me some water. I don't love that water.
She probably
dog.
said, "I like water." You're like, I like water too. I like water too. Like,
But nah, I mean, like, when you're trying to, actually get a date, I'm gonna be like, nah, I don't like that at all. Like,
Right,
no,
exactly.
Like, yeah, I'm Aquaman, girl. I
gotta
jump in that
roll.
water, so So what I remember was when I came there, I show up a little bit early because you got to show up early.
Yeah.
Make sure, you got to check the scene out.
The man
whatnot.
always has to be early.
He was
you
first.
gotta be early, look around and everything. So as soon as I get there, I'm walking around and I see it, and I'm just like, wow. I'm trying to hide it though. I'm trying to like play it off Joe Cool, but I'm just like, wow, she's like really pretty,
Gorgeous.
right? So she say hi, she's
I
like,
wasn't no catfish.
she yeah, because I'm thinking like, all right, you fine like that. Something got to be wrong with you off default. Like, I'm like, you don't walk around here looking single like that. Something
being
gotta
single,
be,
yeah.
something got to be wrong. So I walk up on her, I'm like, hey, how you doing? Fine. She gave me the little church hug with the 2 pats and everything.
Of course.
We
We
started
always have to
talking.
do that.
Yeah, little 2 pats. I was like,
Because
okay,
you gotta
church
make
hug.
sure that you're safe.
Yeah.
Right? Especially with Tinder.
So then we was sitting down and we was talking by a river and some rocks. And I was just like, this is unusual to be sitting down by a river and all these big boulders all around us, but cool. We just had like the deepest conversation ever.
That's good.
I couldn't believe it. I was
And he
blown
was
away.
doing magic tricks.
Yeah, I was doing magic tricks.
You was pulling all the tricks
Yeah,
out.
yes, ma'am.
All the tricks out.
Yes, ma'am. I was.
I like that. I can
Yeah.
respect that.
Yeah, I was like, I got to do something that's gonna make me stick out from many other guys.
But I didn't like
Yeah.
magic tricks.
I was gonna say, were you impressed?
Yeah, were you impressed?
I was a little bit, but like I told him I wasn't really into magic because I went to the circus and I didn't like the circus.
Oh.
And so I associated his little magic tricks with the circus.
Oh.
But I was actually impressed with the stuff that he was doing.
What was your first argument or altercation?
I think it was something stupid. Because we don't argue about serious things. We argue about like, why are we arguing about this? But it's a thing,
I think our first argument was probably I wanted him to go somewhere with my friends.
Oh,
And he didn't want to go.
Yeah.
It was like a winery or like
Yeah.
some event. And he
Yeah.
was not trying to go. Like, he's not really into like meeting new people like that. And
Yeah.
like is not really trusting of like outside people. So he was like, who are these people? And like, why is it so important that we go? But for me, I'm real social and I'm really like, I have a close knit group of friends. So it's important to me. But he didn't know that at the time. So that was one of our first arguments.
It's for the reason they see that being is, when you come up by yourself and you on your own a lot, you used to like, you get to meet new people and you come to find out like words versus actions. Like you saying a lot of really nice things, but your actions are saying completely different. So I usually pick up like the hint on the first go around. If you do something that makes me kind of got to question you, I'm probably just going to not deal with you.
Fall
at all.
back. Yeah,
So-
no, that makes sense.
So for me, it was just, like if she's never really brought them up in conversation, explaining like how this person's like this level of importance in her life or something like that, they just somebody we hanging out with, and I'm like, we could go do something else on our own. So
And
that's
I'm,
fine.
I'm
about
very
it.
spontaneous too.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I
people
know.
will-
Yeah.
People
I
will
know.
come to me with ideas, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that," and then
Yeah.
I'll tell him like, "Oh, we're gonna go do this," and he's like, "Wait, what? Like, who are these people?
Right.
What are we doing?"
She's overly nice, and well, she was overly nice back in them
I'm
times. She
still
was.
overly
Oh,
nice.
She's
no.
still very nice. I feel like.
I think she's very nice, but not overly nice to the point to where I'm like, come on, honey. Like,
well, she's more aware.
yeah, now she's
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
more aware.
Not as gullible, because I feel
Right.
like I've been there too, where I've been super trusting, super gullible, super nice until
Yeah.
like I realized I shouldn't be nice anymore. But the spontaneity, we used to be on that together. I remember she'd be like, "Let's go to Philly." I'm like, "All right, bet, pull up." Like,
Yeah.
so it's like
Yeah.
I know exactly what
Yeah.
you're dealing with because she was my friend,
Yeah.
And
I
at
just need
first, he didn't like that I would just tell people yes, and then I would come back and ask him. Like, he's like,
ask
I
me
want you
first.
to ask me first, and
Yeah.
then I'll say, yeah, let's go, let's do that.
Because I look at her like, this is my lady, right? I'm not gonna tell somebody, yeah, man, I'm gonna be over there in a couple seconds, like without coming to her 1st. I'm like, I know, as any man in a serious relationship knows, you can't just do things and not tell her and not like think that it's gonna be okay to go without some smoke being attached to it. Like, yeah, you can go, but it's gonna be some waiting
Yeah.
for you when you come back to the crib. So, and it's just due respect to your lady. If she's your equal, you gotta treat her like your equal.
Yeah.
I would want that same respect too.
I agree. When you're in a union or a marriage, it's not just you anymore. You're not single
Right.
anymore. You have to think for two. So
Right.
it's not always like, it's not just, okay, Ken is going out. It's, I got to discuss with my significant other, my spouse. Like you, at this point, you're one. So it's like, I gotta discuss it. I'm gonna get back to you. It's not, oh yeah, buddy, I'll be there on no. It's
Yeah.
we're
Right.
gonna see if we can make it. You
Right.
know?
Yeah,
So,
we can make it.
Yeah.
That's that part a lot of people don't like.
Unless you're doing something like on your own.
Yeah.
But if you like volunteer your partner to come and do stuff, that's what I would do. I'd be like, oh yeah, we gonna
Right.
be there. And then
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell him till afterwards. But so in the beginning, that's one thing that we used to argue about. Now I know him better.
I felt like a lot of our arguments more so came from us just trying to learn each other and trying to adjust to each other's lifestyles that we
Yeah.
live, because we had two different kinds. And
two different upbringings
Right.
coming together as one. So
Right.
of course you're gonna have to learn each other.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Yeah.
gonna bump heads on the road, so it makes sense. My next question is, how do you guys find balance in your life where it's like, okay, so you're newlyweds. You're into each other, you know, you're still learning each other because, you know, you're still young in the game, you know, as a couple. So like, how do you find balance with spending time as a couple and then like hanging out with your friends, you know, prior to or even after your marriage, like your outside friends, like, okay, I'm like, hey, Lara comes home. She's like, you know, Ken, tonight is a ladies' night. Like, how do you guys find balance? Because sometimes you don't really want to lose yourself just because you got married, but you want to be able to involve or incorporate your spouse in what you do. So how do you find balance with doing that?
Well, I think first it's communication. So a lot of the times we just genuinely want to do stuff together. And we have a lot of the same interests. So it's not really that often that we each want to like go off and do something on our own, but sometimes it's important to do stuff on your own and like to do stuff like have a girls' night and stuff like that. So I think it's just about communicating with your partner. And I know for Ken, as long as like he knows that I'm safe, because that's a big thing too. Like he wants to make sure that you know I'm not in any dangerous situation or anything like that. But as long as he knows that I'm safe and you know where I'm going and things like that, we're good to go. And I think it's vice versa. Like, as long as I know the group of people that he's with and that he's not out gonna do some foolishness with whoever, not because necessarily he would do that, but whoever he's with, I think you have to let your partner do their own thing.
So for me, in terms of how do I balance the time, I first weigh my options of if I go hang out with this person, what's coming attached with that. I got 3 line brothers I love very, very much. But 2 of them, I know if I go hang out with them, things are going to happen that if my wife was sitting right next to me, she wouldn't be with that shit at all. And I know that, you know, it's not that they mean any harm by it. That's just where they're at in their chapter of their life right now. They're living a type of lifestyle that I can't do that anymore, you know? I got a 3rd line brother who he kind of in the same lifestyle as me, but he's way on the other side of the earth right now. So for me,
He's in Georgia.
I mean, to me, that's the other side of the earth. You
I
ain't
think he's in Australia.
I mean, that's the other side of the earth. When you ain't all the way down there, you know, I'm like, yeah, honey, I'm going to Georgia. I'll be right back. Like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so for me, all I really care, I'm a simple guy. I don't have a lot of needs. So as long as I get to go to the gym, I get to play the video game, and I know that she's okay. She lets me go on like my runs because I like to run a lot. I don't really have the need to go entertain these people or hang out with these people or go do this in this social circle, because to me, as long as she's okay and she lets me do my own little like hobbies,
As long
I'm
as
good
I
to
don't
go.
interfere with his video games.
Well, because I think at one point in time I used to be like that, but after a while, like her hobbies and my hobbies started to intertwine, and now we're really competitive against each other. So
That's good.
I think between the 2 of us, we spend way more time with each other because we genuinely want to do that, as opposed to you have to balance out this group, your significant other, family, and all. It's always just been me and her. We'll decide what we're gonna do from that point on.
And we have a lot of friends that I think are like friends of the marriage, like friends with both of us too. So it's not like we're
I've
living
learned to like, you
separate.
know, like we're like you guys are one. So it's like y'all are my friends. Like it's not
Right.
just you're my friend. I just got a new friend. So it's like we do stuff together. So
Yeah.
that's good. My next question is, how did you know you met your wife?
So I knew I met my wife after, I think, the first conversation we had. I think the difference between her and every other woman I met up to that point is I walked away feeling like I don't even know who I am anymore. And I'm not trying to like boost her ego or anything, but like we were talking about things with a level of conversation that I was like, I'm never going to find this in another woman if I let her go. It was like, it's like talking about like, you want to go to cookout? Yeah, let's go to cookout versus like, now we're talking about like, how do you think that, you know, Black folks as a culture, how are we going to get ahead? What are your thoughts on that? Like, what do you think? And then she's talking about like, you know, school, mental health, the importance of that. We're going off in these tangents and all these very, very deep conversations, and like, you know, just the style of dress and what that communicates, and, you know, just the things she wants to go see in the world, the things she wants to do with her career, the fact that she even has a direction in that, and she has a career, and she's passionate about things to the point of tears.
For a while.
We was talking for a good while, and I was just like, I went back home and I was like, do I dress like a kid? And I never like.
She challenged you to be better.
She had like the Erykah Badu effect. I swear, like this is the first time in my life where I had to go home. I had to look at myself in the mirror and I had to ask the question, like, what am I? And I never did that with anybody else. And I was just like, if I lose her, I'm not going to have like this hard look in the mirror of who am I now? You know, and from that point I knew, I was like, oh, I got to marry this one. This the one right here.
That's
and
good.
I was good after that.
That is good. And Lara, how did you know, like, he's the one?
I think I joked around with my friends, you know, because when you go on Tinder dates, I recommend that you have your friends do an investigation.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. That was one of my questions. I'm so glad you addressed it. Like, you have to, girl.
Yes.
All we did was do our research on men.
Exactly.
Like, girl, I got his first name and his phone number. We're going to figure out who his mom is, who his daddy is.
Oh, wow.
Is he married?
Where he lives.
Where his kids at? And we're going to test up on a date. We're going to figure out, is he lying or is he telling the truth on day one?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I would say, you know, from the Tinder profile, I think I joked with my friends like, oh, I met my husband. It's time for y'all to do an investigation. So, but that was probably like me joking. I'd say I really...
I'm that friend. You definitely did. You definitely did. We did it to all our men.
But I would say like I for real knew like all jokes aside. Probably, I think it took me a little bit longer because I had to see how he acted in a relationship. Like, was he supportive of the things that I wanted to do? Because, you know, we did have a great first date where we talked about a lot of different things like family, you know, religion and spirituality and trauma and everything. But I think for me moving forward, I had to see like, okay, how supportive of me is he? How does he like take my feedback or like when I have an opinion or advice on something? And so once I started to see that he like really values the things that I say and what I bring to a relationship, I was like, oh, I think he might be the one. Because he listens.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so when selecting your spouse, did you feel obligated to put into consideration your friends and family's opinions or thoughts or concerns?
It's not like, you know, my mom, she's Caribbean, and so she has a lot of expectations and a lot of views about what marriage should look like and things like that. So it's not necessarily that, like, her pushback was because there was anything wrong in the relationship or, like, wrong with Ken or things like that. It was really just, like, differences in how we view life. So I feel like if my parents' feedback would have been, you know, I'm concerned for you, or, you know, he's not a good person or something like that, maybe that would be a little bit different for me. But it wasn't necessarily a hindrance. And now they love Ken. When I get upset at them and I'm like going back and forth with my mom, she's like, put Ken on the phone. I'm tired of talking to you. So it really wasn't a hindrance to anything. I think it just took them a while to warm up. And then his family was like...
They were instantly supportive.
Yeah, they were so supportive, like right off the bat. So it took my family a little bit to warm up. But it didn't really impact our relationship at all because it wasn't unexpected too.
All right, is it my turn now?
Oh, yes, it's your turn,
Okay, it's
Mr.
my
Ken.
turn. So I don't remember, because this they hear me in this, so I don't remember it quite going down that way
What? He's talking like he on the radio.
at all. It didn't go down like that.
audience.
Right.
No, the audience, you just right, all that. So, ladies, I'm gonna tell you right now, it did not go down that way. No, it didn't. So,
You didn't ask my dad?
so what had happened? I didn't ask. I informed your father what was finna go down today. That's what I did. I informed him, and he goes, "No, don't inform me. Inform her mother." And I was like, "Oh, all right, bet." So I get on the phone with the mom. And the mom specifically said, if you not have
Mom.
Right.
this, no, because I'm saying it like this for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And should anybody ever get this particular thing said to them, don't let it stop you.
Mm-hmm.
She said, if you do not have X degree, don't even worry about trying to propose to my daughter. So most
wanted him
people
to have a master's. Master's degree.
So I felt some kind of way about that because I'm like, you shouldn't, put my character lower than what it is because of something I don't possess. That a degree does not determine how hard I'm going to love your daughter.
Right, or take care of her.
Like I love her.
Right.
You can't measure that with a master's degree.
Well,
you
that's
know?
what I was saying. If
Right.
it had been something like truly about like your character,
like my character, then
or,
Right. Right.
maybe I was acting differently since being with you.
Right, I could
or
see
abuse
that.
and things like that.
Right.
I think that would be different.
Right.
But because it was something so simple as a master's degree that he could get
Mm-hmm.
anytime.
It to me, it was just the shock of someone saying something like that to me, and I was like, I had already had.
probably said that to
No
you
one's
before.
ever said
Yeah.
you can't do something because you don't have something, and I already had 2 degrees, and I'm like not for one for throwing out resumes. I didn't think that like that would even come up, and I would think she would be like, hey, I appreciate you, saying you want to take my daughter's hand in marriage and whatnot, but that it didn't go down like the way you, in the best case scenario, you think it goes down in your head from the man's perspective. So I switched back into, okay, well, we're gonna see what's gonna happen in the future. I'll take what you said under guidance, but I'm gonna marry your daughter. I'm just like, And she goes, well, no, not until you get your degree. And I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna see what's gonna happen, but I'm still gonna marry your daughter. And we did that about 4 or 5 more times, and we moved on from there. But I say that to say, when a woman or when a man is getting ready to marry a woman, it's supposed to be the easiest process that she's ever experienced in her life. She shouldn't let nothing stop him from doing it. As long as his intentions are good and his heart's in the right place, whatever kind of doubts or whatever kind of insecurities or whatever kind of what ifs you have, he should be shooting that shit out the sky because it's nothing to him if he wants you like he says he does.
Yeah.
You know?
I think, for my mom, she really values like education and getting higher degrees, especially since I am
A doctor.
Almost done with my PhD. So I think she just was coming from the perspective of I want someone to match you like education level wise, but that's not the most important thing when you think about what's important to go into a marriage. And so that's why I don't think it really came between us. And also, it's not like we had high expectations that it was just gonna
Be easy.
Yeah.
roses and sunshine.
Yeah, no, that makes
Yeah.
sense. I ask that because oftentimes we let the outside affect our relationship and we can't find a partner, we can't find happiness because we're so stuck in concern on what people have to say. And not just people, the ones we love, the ones we hold
Absolutely.
nearest and dearest to us, like our mother, our father, our friends, and I wouldn't say that their opinions are mal and it would seem like it's rude but it's only because they want the best for their daughter, They have their best interest of heart and they question if you also have that same best interest of heart. So it's kind of like dang, we about to lose our daughter, who we about to lose our daughter to. Not in the sense that you're not good enough or you're not, the man for her, because obviously you guys are here, you're married. So it's like,
Yeah, I ain't take it like that at the time.
I'm sure you didn't. That hurts. It chips away at you as a man. It's a lot. So I can understand. I can
Yeah.
understand you being defensive, you being upset. That would hurt me too. So
But also, like, if those people in your life, your friends or your family, love you, then over time they will accept
absolutely
the person for who they are, which has happened in my family. Like
Yeah.
I said, they'd rather talk to him on the phone sometimes.
Yeah, they don't like talking to her. Now they want to talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it works out. It works out. But everything worth having is worth fighting for.
That's true.
So look at where you are today. So I'm extremely happy for you guys. I look forward to you guys being parents. Like, I'm really happy for y'all. Yeah. So that ends up my segment with the questions. So we're going on to more fun questions.
All right.
Okay, so these cards are called cuff cards. And they were curated by a podcast called Let's Cuff, similar to this podcast. So, yeah. So it just draws up scenarios and questions that you would ask couples, people dating about sex, love, all that good stuff.
Okay.
Okay, you want to read it again?
So, ladies, what would you do if your man laughed at your attempt to be sexy?
I'd probably cry.
I could see that.
I'm a crier, so I probably start crying. But I would get over it. Like, I would have a conversation afterwards. Like, why you did that? Like, why'd you laugh?
I can answer. You're not a lady, so you can't.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I'm like, I don't
Unless
know
you
how.
want to change it up. So what would you do if Lara laughed at you?
If I was trying to be sexy,
Yeah.
I'd probably laugh with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be me.
No,
Like
I'd probably cry a little bit.
There's been plenty of times I've been trying to be sexy in front of Larry and it backfired completely. And I was just like, yeah, you got
Because I didn't know you was trying to be sexy.
I know, that's the funny part. I'm like, I'm out here trying to look good for you and shit. And all damn.
But then I think, as a woman, then you can have a conversation like, what went wrong here? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. But nah, I wouldn't. What would you do?
So me, myself, I'll take it. So I would laugh or I would get really offended because, like, if I'm trying to be intimate and you laughing, what the fuck you laughing for? Like, what the fuck's so funny? Like, so I would either laugh. It depends on the mood. It depends on the vibe.
Right,
Like,
right.
I would either laugh with you or I'd be super offended and dry up and be like, okay, cool. We're not doing nothing. Because you thought shit was funny.
Right.
So who's laughing now?
Right.
Larry, you choose.
Okay. What makes a person immediately unattractive?
I got a couple of those. What you think?
Bad conversation, a lack of personal style, and not just like the clothes you wear, but also just how you hold yourself and carry yourself in a room.
Yeah.
And a lack of hygiene. So
Ooh.
if there's like smells going on, lack of grooming.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Ken?
I think what makes a person unattractive, if you ask them a question and they have like a complete lack of sense of self, like, what's your favorite color? Like, I don't know. Like, you don't have a favorite color? Like, what do you like to eat? It doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah,
you
that's
know what I mean?
weird.
Like you can't and it's not like they like just not trying to talk to you. Like that's legitimately how they feel. Like that's their true answer. It's like
That's a weird person.
Yeah, it's but a lot like just a lack of sense of self. Like just confidence in yourself. Like you know, men like confidence. Like a woman who knows so the other women in the room, she's not the baddest in the room, but you can't tell her that because she knows she's the baddest in the room until something proves her otherwise in her mind. That's incredibly sexy, but. That if you don't have it at all,
that can come with its downfalls too, though. Because if you're not humble at the same time,
if you could do that, and be humble,
could be unattractive.
But if you don't have that at all, and like I asked you a question, like like what do you like to do for fun? Nothing. Like you're like okay,
Yeah.
great.
That's scary.
I agree with everything y'all are saying. So just to add, I think that somebody who's super self-centered or way too, I want to say narcissistic, but like just very full of themselves and thinks that they're better than everyone and just complete lack of humility, that's not attractive. Like that's the world don't revolve around you, so let's kind of hygiene. I'm really big on hygiene. I'm really big on hygiene and cleanliness. So like I'm very if there's a lack of hygiene, I just cannot.
Are humans really built to love only one person in their lifetime? I don't think that you necessarily. I think there's different types of love,
I
and
agree, 100%.
there's different seasons of your life, and so you can love someone for a certain season. I do, and I also think that, like, I believe in soul ties too, and so that can be a form of love sometimes, or it can also be toxic too, but that's another story. But I don't think that you're only built to love one person. I do think that there is value, obviously because we're married, in having a partner in life for the rest of your life. And I think that we're built to do that with one person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what works for us.
So yeah, I can tell you, I think in terms of how the question is phrased, no, because there are many different types of loves you have to go through, I think, before you are ready to be with the one who you're trying to be your soulmate with for the rest of your natural days. I feel like if you've only loved one person your entire life and you've never dated and fell in love and made mistakes and made improvements, and basically you lack substance for a marriage. You need to go through some things.
Some people marry their first
I
love.
mean, some people do. I'm going off my own personal opinion. I think that you are really designed to your one true love, your soulmate. I think all the things you go through in relationships, all whether they fail, whether they were good, indifferent, fling, whatever, they all lead up to: do you know yourself? Do you know your strengths and your weaknesses? You know your triggers? You know everything about you that leads you up to your marriage that you're supposed to be with for the rest of your days. So I think that, in a way, no, because you got to go through a couple good loves, bad loves, but your one true love, I think all of that leads to your one true love. So that way, when you get there, you done made mistakes, you know not to get angry, you know like where your trigger points are, you know when to walk away. Like, so I think yes and no, it just depends on how you want to look at the question. But my one true love right here, and I know that had I not gone through all my different relationships and led up to this point, I wouldn't have been ready for it. So I needed that experience.
Yeah, I agree that the answer is no, only because, like you said, there's bad love, there's toxic love, there's different loves where it's like, it's levels to love. So you may love a person, but that's not the best person for you.
Right.
So, yeah, I would say no, only because there's levels to that shit.
Yeah, I would even say, even if you can't put a name to what that is, you know how it feels because you've experienced it. So you know, like, I don't mess with none of this. Like, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm not with it because this ain't the first time I've been on this block. You know what I'm saying? And like, sometimes people don't need, you don't even need to be educated to know what toxic love feels like. You know, or like that manipulative love, or like that love that's materialistic.
Well, maybe those aren't even love. That's just like,
to some people it might be. So some people might have
Life
phrased
lessons.
that. You know, but real love is love just because I want your company, just because we can talk, just because I just like being around you, and I like real love is when you argue with me and I still love you regardless of the fact. I love you for your faults and all.
I feel like the definition of love is that. I feel like love is accepting a person for who they are, regardless of their flaws, regardless of, you know, what irritates you about that person. Your love for them doesn't change. That's what love is. Like, love is no matter what they do, they will always have a place in your heart.
I feel like a woman would really allow herself to fall deeply in love with a man when she has the craziest argument she's ever had, where she lost control, and in spite of that, he was understanding, was like, you know what, it's cool. We all wild out sometimes. I still love you regardless of the fact. And we didn't have that a couple times, and I was like, but honey, if you can't freak out with me, who are you going to freak out with? You have to be able to go crazy with me. So this is a really good question, because I feel like she would never have been able to really fall in love with me if she knows that she can only be certain ways around me and not her entirety around me. You know, I feel like a lot of women don't get to be their entirety around a man.
And I was just talking to my friends today that, like, through my dating experiences, like, I feel like with some people I couldn't be myself, and I don't like the fact that I can't be myself. I want to be with somebody who I can be myself with, because I don't want to be walking on eggshells or pins and needles, because I'm going to be uncomfortable for the rest of my life, you know? So
you should have the ability to be whatever shade of color of your persona that is that day. You can have good days, bad days, fat day, skinny day, hungry day, sleepy day, sick day, you know, and scared day. Don't matter what it is. He should be able to get it, receive it, and deal with it. And that's who you're supposed to be with. And you should get no shame for it. You shouldn't feel bad about it, because that's who you're supposed to be. That is you. That makes up every entirety of you. And you know, me and her have had this conversation numerous times, but it's a cool thing to be a guy on the receiving end of that and be like, honey, it's okay. I know you're just going through something. You want me to go get you some French fries? You know, and that's usually what that turned into. You know what I'm saying? But you got to do that. But yeah, this is a really good question. I like that.
That wraps up the question. So do you guys have any advice you can give other people as far as dating, with their dating lives, or what like works for y'all, hopefully can work for someone else. Like any last closing remarks?
What about arguing?
Well, about dating, I feel like
Even in dating,
relationships, love, marriage.
I think for me, with dating as a woman, I think it's important to date often and get to know different people and what you like and what you don't like in people, and be in a place where you feel healthy and whole. And when that point comes that you feel like you want a relationship, I feel like it's okay to be upfront about that moving forward in your dating experiences. Like, I think sometimes I would like overthink things like, oh, does he want something serious? I don't know. I don't want to scare him off. But if you know yourself and you know the work that you've done and you know that you're in a place where a relationship is important and the next step for you, I think that there's nothing wrong with being upfront about that. Because I think when I met Ken, I was definitely in a place where I'm not playing any games. I'm working on my PhD. I don't have time for like people to come in and out of my life. And so with him and every person that I was dating at the time, because I date often,
no, listen.
But
I'm with you.
I was very upfront that,
this is what it is.
This is what I'm looking for. And I think as a woman, it's important to stand up for that and say that.
I think for me, what I would say is so what I'm trying to say is,
he really be talking like he's on this radio and he's on like
you know what I'm saying?
93.9 WKYS. Like,
so what I would say for the ladies out there, you're sitting up there and you're wondering like, how am I gonna know when a guy's right for me? It's real simple. It's not gonna get any simpler than this. If a man wants to be with you, he will. It's that simple. If you have a doubt, you have like a what if, an inclination that something's going to be wrong, ask him. And if he wants to be with you, the moment he hears, he's going to shoot it out the sky. And you're going to be like, wow, this guy really wants to be with me. And that's just words that has to be backed up with actions. So you're going to go to a point to where you get into an argument. And when you get into your first argument, y'all going to say some things that y'all don't mean. Y'all gotta have difficult conversations, and these conversations have to come from a place of love and forgiveness. I learned that from my wife. If it's one thing to argue and you say toxic things, that like attack the character, like fuck you piece of shit, da 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 da. But it's another thing to argue and you stay on point, like I'm mad because you did X, Y, and Z. And we have identified how you feel. We have identified the problem. Let's work towards a solution. We hug it out. We go from there. I feel like people don't do that no more. I feel like everything's over a phone and in a text message. People don't deal with each other. Even the music that we listen to don't even talk about love like how it's supposed to be. It's like if you even come out there and you show humanity and say, I love this person, you a bitch now. Men and women are saying that over songs now. And that's like what people are hearing. Yeah. And just
they make vulnerability look like it's weakness.
it's a weakness, and they clown. Social media will eat you alive if you show any type of humanity ever. You cry on social media, they're gonna clown you for it basically. But I say that to say, when you find the person that you want to be with, you're going to take the relationship seriously. You got to take steps back and be like, hey, I want to be with this person, but have I even said, what are we out loud? And if you feel like you can't do that because you're scared of the answer, you're going to get that feeling is real. And you should pay attention to that. That's God trying to tell you something. If you can't say to your man, or your man can't say to your woman, what are we, without there being some intense fear attached to it, it's probably for a reason, right? So I would tell the ladies out there, y'all need to pay attention to that. I would tell the fellas out there, you need to pay attention to that. If you don't get a simple, we are together, we are married, or we're in a relationship, if you get something like, oh, we just chilling, you got your answer. You probably should run with that, because you know what that means. Yeah,
it's no ifs, ands, buts about it.
Don't sit up there trying to change it. He gonna go for it. That's all. And if a woman wants to be with you, she gonna let you know you mine. Like
Well, thank you guys so much. I think you did so well. Round of applause for yourselves, and we're done.